I would like to call this regular meeting of council to order on June the 6th, 2023 at 7 p.m. We will stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for the many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. We'll move on to item 3, the mayor's address. During the month of May, I attended 13 meetings on county and or municipal business. On Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023, members of Township and the Strategic Planning and Coordinating Committee participated in a strategic plan education and training workshop. Staff are preparing a report for the June Strategic Planning and Coordinating Committee meeting, describing the information that was discussed, priorities identified, and strategies moving forward. The committee will review the report and provide recommendations to council for approval. The spring freshet is almost finished and water levels are returning to their normal yearly average. Golden Lake Property Owners Association, Fish Committee, is continuing their work on a pickerel restocking plan for Golden Lake. Plan being developed will also involve a monitoring component of the pickerel population as a means of tracking and measuring for success. Algona Wilberforce Township has been approached by the Fish Committee chairperson to partner and assist in grant applications for funding. Just a reminder, and it's past now, that the Golden Lake Property Owners Association hosted their snow fry on Sunday, June 4th at the Cottage Cup from 12:30 to 4 p.m. Public Works is waiting for a delivery and application of dust control, which is scheduled to occur within the next 2 weeks. And the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry issued a complete fire ban effective June the 1st, 2023. Notifications of the ban have been posted on the website, Facebook page, electronic signs, Twitter, and our community connect. And that is my mayor's address. But I have a mover and a seconder to moved by Councilor Burke, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Yes.
So it said the mayor of the fish stocking, the chair of the fish stocking, is that just for Golden Lake though, correct?
That's just for Golden Lake.
Okay.
But their plan is, once they have it developed for Golden Lake, that it will be utilized, transferred to any other lake or any other cottage association so that they could implement the same type of plan.
Perfect, that's good to know.
So we'll call the vote. Councilor Buchwald.
Yes.
Councilor Burke.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld.
Yes.
And yes. Karen, thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, then we'll move on to the adoption of the minutes. I have a motion that we adopt the May 1st, 2023 special public budget, the May 16th, 2023 regular, and the May 23rd, 2023 special meeting minutes to be approved as presented. And I'm going to move in a seconder, moved by Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Are there any additions? Hearing none, we'll move on to the vote of approval. Councilor Buchwald.
Yes.
Councilor Burke.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld.
Yes.
Yes. Karen, thank you. We have no delegations tonight, so we'll move into reports. Order list management services agreements. I have a motion that council authorizes the clerk treasurer to sign the voter list management agreement with Comprint System Inc. for the years 2022 to 2026 at the contract price of $6,600 plus HST. And I got a mover and a seconder, moved by Council Riker Schoenfeld, seconded by Council Burge. Comments or questions, Council Riker Schoenfeld?
Last election, some people were missed on our voters list. Will they look at correcting that, or how can we ensure that, you know, the voters list is correct as it can be?
Yes.
So anybody that, filled out, did were added to the voters list or corrected their information, that information was provided to Gata 6 and Impact. A list of any of those changes are sent, I believe it's 20 to 30 days after the election. Also, next municipal election rather than Impact, creating the voters list, Elections Ontario will be, are tasked with that, doing that, and they will have the information from the federal election and provincial election to help ensure that the list is more accurate.
Do you think in one of our inserts for our tax bills, we could just have a little, or maybe put it on one of our websites or something, basically, if you were missed on the voters list, please contact your township, so then we could get their name? Just because some people, I think, might have not filled out what you just said. So I mean, maybe if they were alerted, maybe they would call and, I don't know.
Or maybe, an idea, so the next election is going to take place in, 2016?
2026.
2026. So maybe we make note and the tax insert for the first interim billing, we have that information. Because the residents would have been able to access the Impact website to check to see if they were. And we did have that information out. We did have that information out prior to the election, but maybe it's just ensuring that it's more visible to our residents would it help.
Okay, that's good.
July tax insert.
Okay, just to make sure, just to make people aware, and it'll be good, like if we have a federal provincial election, and that's where they're drawing the list from, those are probably even more accurate,
Yes.
right, than what Impact is. Okay, good to know.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Councilor Burke?
Yes.
Councilor Buchwald?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Riker Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Yes, that is carried. Thank you. Item 7.2 is the rental negotiations. I have a motion that council accept the enter into rental negotiations with Ottawa Valley Food Co-op report and direct staff to enter into negotiations with the Ottawa Valley Food Cooperative about rental opportunities, and further that the Ottawa Valley Food Co-op sign a rental agreement. Can I get a second room by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burge? Comments or questions? Councilor Riker Schoenfeld?
Do you know if the, will be, are they gonna have access to the, snow drifters like 24/7 or just during certain times, or?
That, through the mayor, that will be part of the negotiations
Okay,
and part of the rental agreements.
okay, thank you.
I think it's going to be a good partnership. I think they certainly did like the facility. They had their AGM. And, they certainly appreciate the fact that there's more parking and that the building is easy to access. I will call the vote. Councilor Burge?
Yes.
Councilor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Riker Schoenfeld?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. Item 7.2 is a beautification initiative. I have a motion that council accepts the beautification initiative report as information. Can I get a mover in a second, or moved by councilor Ricky Schonfeld, seconded by councilor Bird? Comments or questions? Councilor Ricky Schonfeld.
I know, you're right. Can I make one of the projects be our front entrance at Shaw Woods? Maybe for camera? Yes?
Yeah.
And that is on the list.
Okay, perfect. And may I make a suggestion that they do it like on a Wednesday and not necessarily Friday, just because their office is closed on Wednesdays? That might make it less busy when they're trying to do stuff. Just a thought. Thanks. Brilliant minds think alike.
Any other questions, comments? I call the vote. Councilor Bird.
Yes.
Councilor Buckle.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Ricky Schonfeld.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Very, thank you. Item 7.4 is the Deacon boat launch update. I have a motion that council accepts the boat launch expansion at Deacon Park, and the report as presented. Moved by councilor Robinson, seconded by councilor Ricky Schonfeld. Comments or questions? Councilor Robinson?
I guess the question is, the dock itself, I guess, that has to be pulled up. The winter time.
Believe so, but I'll turn to staff.
Mary, yes, it will need to be removed, during the winter time, and it will have a lid on it, to help facilitate moving it in and out.
Yes, councilor Bird.
Does the dock that's there now and the one they're putting in, does it meet the bylaw for 2009-40 for the size and stuff? Because there was an important bylaw passed in 2009-40. So there's a certain width and a certain size that it has to be. I don't really probably even look at that bylaw.
Well, it's something staff can look at, review.
Yeah,
I would think it does, because this is a dock that's used in another municipality as well. We have one that's similar. My understanding is that has one.
Important does, and the special project coordinator did check with the Ministry of Natural Resources and MNRF to ensure that work permit wasn't required, and it met their requirement for any requirement they had.
So maybe just a couple things to consider, like, a long time ago, they had those kind of stone cribs and that way, and that seemed to last a long time. I'm not sure what the life expectancy of that, this one is. And the other thing too is, there's that AODA association, right, the accessibility, the disabilities. So, I mean, I guess they would make sure that the dock that we have a picture of, that it's got curbs so a wheelchair wouldn't fall off, or that two wheelchairs could meet at the same time. And just another concern is that now the pontoon boats and some of the boats are much bigger. So just making sure if we did have a docking, I'm not sure how it would be, that it would be set up so that it would accommodate like a 20-foot pontoon boat, or, you know what I mean? Like I'm not sure if that would do that or not. And my last comment would be, I remember when we were talking about putting a dock and stuff in for the swim program, then we have to make sure our public works people are able to do that, because they'd be going in the water. I'm not sure if that's something we have to be concerned of with this or not.
All good questions. And we will take them all under advisement and make sure that.
And I just had one more that I thought of, and maybe the Golden Lake Property Owners Association, they use that a lot. They might have an idea that we never thought about, that just be food for thought. I don't know.
Councilor Bird.
is there any way that they can tie that dock together, or is it all tied together because of the current there?
It will be, yes. And we'll have anchors and.
Okay. Because in the summertime, that's a busy spot there.
I know the one comment that staff had made about that boat launch, and it might be something we need to look at in the future, is that the bigger boats, they're putting their going in, sometimes the trailers scrape on the bottom of the,
Mm,
at the bottom of the rag. So it might be something we would have, then we'd probably have to go through MNRF to, see if we can get a permit to add some of that minus or larger stone or river rock or something, whatever we would recommend.
Oh, there's some really big boats being put in there.
There is.
Mhm.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes,
Councilor Bucklow,
Yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yeah,
Councilor Randy Shonko,
yes,
and yes. Carried, thank you. Item 7.5 is the RFP, P.R.2023-02, regarding Jessup Road. Motion that council accepts this report and award PW 2023-02, excluding fog seal to Greenwood Paving Pembroke Limited in the amount of $372,537.27, including HST, and further that Greenwood Paving Pembroke Limited be awarded the contract, pulverized Weaver Road. Okay, again, mover and a seconder, moved by Councilor Randy Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Burge. Comments or questions? Councilor Randy Schoenfeld.
purpose of the fog seal again?
to, keep the stone from flying off the road.
Yeah,
Because I think that's something that we ran into with Island View Drive, right?
Yes,
And I just think like that, isn't Jessup Road a fairly traffic road? Like, should we not have the fog seal on it?
well, the reason we talked about it for Island View is that there were a lot of actually residents on the road, where Jessup Road, many houses until you get right to the end of it, and then it branches off into the
Right.
two other side roads, and that's where most of the residences are, so.
Does the fog seal help keep the stone on the car?
that's what that's what Andrew said.
But then isn't it better to do that, so we don't lose our stone? I don't know, like we're spending that much money. To me, that extra $30,000, is that money better spent by using the fog seal? And we kind of did budget for it?
We could try it on that road to see if it does anything with the stone.
Well, my thought was, by not doing the fog seal, we could probably pulverize roofs with it.
Oh, yeah,
We won't have to dip it into reserves as much, so.
I know, but I'm thinking maybe it's money well spent to keep the gravel cart on the road.
Maybe we could just ask staff to bring back a little more information. I don't know how much of a issue that is, like keeping that on the road and how much we actually lose, or how much it actually affects the whole integrity of the road if it stays on, or.
And that's really what I'd like to know, the integrity of the road. By doing that, are we gonna get a longer life expectancy out of that road or not? And if we truly aren't, then I'm okay with not putting it on. If the only reason is to keep it so that the chips aren't flying all over, but yeah, but we can still go ahead and award that. And then that can just be an add-on, right?
Yeah, we can award this and we can always. Wait for staff to bring back more information, yes.
and I guess the other question while staff is looking at that is, can it be done after the fact?
I think the preference is to do it at the same time they put it down, because they have all their equipment there and they don't have to remobilize.
But I think it's just one of the last things that they do.
Yeah.
To the road, so I mean, they could do everything else.
And then that.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns,
Yes,
Councilor Buckle,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Randy,
Yes.
and a yes. Karen, thank you. Item 7.6 is the A gravel RFP. I have a motion that council accept the A gravel RFP report is presented and accepts the lowest proposal from RJ Zell and Son in the amount of $48,558.36. including HST. Moved by Council Burke, seconded by Council Williamson. Comments or questions? Councilor Michelle?
Just the interesting to note the discrepancy between the three quotes, like, quote, the sell to the Kavanaugh, that's pretty outstanding,
Mhm.
It is.
which.
I was gonna say the same thing, like, to tender for work, it sure pays, because this shows you right here, $80,000.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes it depends on how busy some of the other
Yeah.
contractors are, and they just, we'll put in a price, we maybe don't get it, but we'll make it high enough that if they want us to do the work.
Yeah.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Council Burns?
Yes.
Council Buckle?
yes,
Council Robinson?
Yes,
Council Ramichandra?
Yes,
Yes, that's carried, thank you. Item 7.7 is the RFP for the beachside bistro. We have a motion of council accept the report as presented, and further the council approves the applicant's request to rent the canteen facility in Melissa Bishop Park for the seasonal rate of $500. Can I move in a second? Moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments or questions? Councilor Ramichandra?
I think it's great that we finally have somebody that's willing to try and take it on. I kind of wish their hours would be a little different, but like an earlier start, it would be like, 1. It'll be interesting to see what happens there.
I tend to agree with you. I think it's a good first step.
Mhm.
No, I have to agree with that.
And I suggested to staff, if we approve this tonight, that we put up a notice at Shaw Woods that it's available, that anybody visiting there could pop over and grab a bite to eat as well.
That's a good idea.
Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Council Bird?
Yes.
Council Buckle?
yes,
Council Robinson?
yes,
Council Ramichandra?
Yes,
Yes. Sarah, okay. Item 7.8 is the procedural bylaw review, part 4. I have a motion that council direct staff to amend or accept the procedural bylaw review, part 4, as determined during council deliberations. And I get a mover to second, moved by Councilor Ramichandra, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments or questions? Councilor Ramichandra?
so we don't do an audio version at all anymore?
Yes.
No, okay, and then in A5.5. And it just says special meetings of council should not extend beyond an hour. Is that like, should we extend that? Should we say 2 hours? If we ever had a special meeting? It could go longer than now. I just think if we had a presentation and then we discuss it.
Sorry, which section again?
A5.5, where it says special meeting of council should not exceed beyond the hour stated in the notice to call special meeting otherwise determined by resolution. I was wondering, should we extend that hour to like 2 hours? I was thinking if we ever had, and we've had people come in and present, they could present for like 30 minutes.
So,
Yes. Go ahead.
the mayor, so how I read that is, so in the, special meeting notice, there should be times for the meeting. And so the special meeting of council shall not extend beyond the time stated in the notice.
I don't know, okay, see, I read it the other way.
Right.
I see what you were saying, if it went from 3 to 5, it could go to 6. Okay, see, I just read it as an hour meeting.
Mhm.
Okay. That's good that we talk about it.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none. Sorry.
Oh, we also noticed A6.2. I think we should clean up or amend the wording in that clause. For currently it says for the purpose of remuneration, council members are permitted to be absent from regular council meetings for 4 elected days per calendar year. And it's a little ambiguous. So the thought was, it'd be amended to say for the purpose of remuneration, council members are permitted to be absent from 4 regular council meetings per calendar year.
Figured it out, right?
It's clear. Council from agreement.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns?
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Rachel?
Yes.
Yes. Carried. Item 7.9 is the Ontario Petroleum Foundation grant. I have a motion that council accepts the report on the 2023 Ontario Petroleum Foundation capital grant as presented and direct staff to apply for the Ontario Petroleum Foundation capital grant to renovate the interior of the Golden Lake Community Hall. I'm gonna move it to second, moved by Councillor Rachel, seconded by Councillor Burns. Comments or questions? Councillor Rachel.
Just one comment, and I guess because we're just applying and you don't know how much money you're going to get. I think if we did get a fair amount of money, having 3 bathrooms would be great, if not like one, you know, bathroom for people with disabilities and just another one would be fine too in that small hall.
And I talked to Cameron a little bit about this one. She said, there's gonna be a lot of competition for it. So I guess whatever money you get, you're either approved or you're not approved. Because the nice thing about the trillion grants is we don't have to, as a municipality, contribute a portion. The training covers everything. So it's a great grant if we can get it. She's anticipating there'll be a lot of other applications.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Rachel.
Yes.
Yes, that's carried, thank you. And 7.10 is the zebra mussel cleanup. I have a motion, council accepts the zebra mussel cleanup report as information. I'm gonna move it in seconder. Moved by Councillor Rachel, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Comments or questions? Councillor Rachel.
So it just looks like it'll be at Melissa Bishop Park, and I don't know if they can do it or not, but we do have those other 2 boat launches. If, you know, maybe somebody wants to, I mean, we do have those invasive species signs up at each of the boat launch, but Peterman's Park does get used a fair amount too. So I don't know if they could, you know, have 2 groups of people.
Yes.
Mayor, so currently the cleanup is scheduled for Melissa Bishop as the poster, details. We can provide your comments to the special part.
Okay, that'd be great. Even if maybe they put signage up at Peterman's and Warren's. That's it. Thank
It
you.
is a monumental task because, once again, I mean, they just attached everything.
Mm-hmm.
6 stones, clams. And
Rob floating in the water.
yeah, and everything.
Mhm.
But I guess you have to start somewhere, which is,
Yeah.
nice to see a plan of action and at least being a public beach. Like pulling the clams out, you're getting rid of the zebra mussels and hopefully preventing somebody from cutting their foot on the clam.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns,
Yes.
Councillor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Rachel.
Yes.
Yes, carried, thank you. Item 7.11 is the Lake Dory Lodge rental agreement. I have a motion that council approves the Lake Dory Lodge overnight and special events rental agreements and terms and conditions. And I'm gonna move it in second, moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckwald. Yes. Comments, questions? Councilor Reggie Trumbull.
So I read about the overnight capacity. Oh, so it's just on the Lake Dory rental agreement form overnight, and it's the third page. So what does, there is a limit of 10 people for day use? So is that the 10 extra people, or what does that 10 refer to?
Yes, Michelle.
There, so there's 8, maximum for overnight, stay
Yeah.
overnight. And so there would be a limit of only 10 people during the day, so we would be able to invite 2 additional people, to use the cottage during the day is my, interpretation.
Because I just think if they were to use it, let's just say they wanted to do like an anniversary or a birthday party, they would never be able to have that many people there.
Yes, go ahead, Michelle.
So if they were having a family reunion or an anniversary, it wouldn't be completely overnight.
But if they want to stay there, let's say during the week, you know what I mean, and then in addition to that, they were gonna have like a family reunion or something.
Scenario, they would have to be both ones then.
Would have a special event to different rental.
Okay, so I'm just thinking maybe in the office and people do come in and they said that you just make them aware they can still do it, but they have to fill out an additional application. Cause I thought, or I don't know, even if on that form, you could write something in brackets, if you're using it as an event, you have to fill out this form also, just to.
What's the capacity for the event? Because there's a limit on your new fire department,
So it's the terms and conditions, so there's a maximum number of 80 for the hall with non-fixed seats and tables, per the Ontario Building Code.
Okay,
It has to be the 80 people.
Right. And that's good,
that's good.
maybe if you could just make it clear. Because some people might be thinking they can,
Maybe people are reading.
no, that'd be silly. And also, like, when they're filling out until they get to know it, just say that's 8+2, not 8+10.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burke.
Yeah.
Councilor Buckles.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Trumbull.
Yeah,
Yeah. Very good. Item 9.1 are the non-action items. And I have a motion that council accept correspondence item 9.1.1 to 9.1.9 as information. Can I get over the second? Moved by Councilor Reggie Trumbull, seconded by Councilor Robinson. And Councilor Robinson, I believe, wanted to talk to the one about the seniors.
Yeah. Can I get that now?
Yeah.
Hey, on May 31st, the seniors invited a member of council to participate in an information session, which included the council from Township Valley as well as Edmonton Bromley. And the document that was included in the agenda really spoke to the requirements for the grants that they received from the government. Now that grant is a legislative grant, so our area had 8 seniors activity living centers. But for them to receive the grant from the government, there's a requirement that they have to meet the 20% funding from the participating municipalities. So if they don't get that, they don't get the amount of grants that and that they would be asking for. So it's really crucial that we continue helping them. But also one of the things that was suggested is that because of the grant that we're giving, there should be any expectation that we know how those funds will be used. So I did make a recommendation to the senior center to actually provide us some information on an annual basis for that seniors active living funding of the state.
That's a good idea, and I think the information that we use. The funding would be used towards their, some of the recreation programming.
Yes,
But it would be nice to see, as you say, a report at the end of the year, which
Yes.
actually, which programs that it helped to support.
exactly. So, but it was very informative, and I also suggested that if they're going to be doing it sort of like a delegation, that they included the ministry person to join, because they could give some more information on it.
Well, thank you for that, bringing back that information. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, then I'll call the vote. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwall.
yes,
Councilor Robinson.
Yes,
Councilor Ray Schoenfeld.
Yes,
Yes. It's very, thank you. So we are at bylaws. Agenda item number 10. And now therefore the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaws. Bylaw 2023-25 being a bylaw to adopt the 2023 tax rates. Bylaw 2023-26, the shoreline road allowance closure. Bylaw 2023-27, the remuneration for township officers and staff. Bylaw 2023-28, remuneration for council members. And bylaw 2023-29, the execution of the agreement with Comprehensive Systems. And I'm gonna move in a second, moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckwall. Comments, questions? Councilor Ray Schoenfeld, is there anything you want to sever from the total?
just, I guess it would be the 2023-27.
Okay, so we will sever that one and approve, we'll go ahead and approve the others. Can we do that?
Well, can I just have a question about it? That's
Sure.
okay, so it's just, maybe clarification under Schedule B, additional classifications and rates.
Mhm.
The CMC position would pay, so the CMC every month gets $600 as a standby?
Or the standard by rate, yes.
Is that like something that is paid in all townships for the CMC?
That I'm not sure, but it has been paid at amount for a number of years.
Okay, because I didn't really realize that. And then maybe just under the 2020-28, I remember last time we also got so much money for a half-day conference rate. Is that on some other page? So I have here counselors $300 per day and there $400 per day, but I also thought if we did half a conference, like a half a day, there was something.
Half the rate.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't have to be written there, or it's said there.
This is the bylaw that has, it's the template that has been used for the last number of years.
Okay.
I believe that's in our procedural bylaw. Rates the 150, the 300, or the 2 and 4.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember seeing it, and it might even be on that little expense sheet we fill out. I just thought maybe it had to be written up in here.
Did you want to respond to that?
So, staff will review just to ensure that it hasn't been missed, but, like I did mention, this has been a bylaw that has been approved. We'll check, there's another number of other bylaws, that deal with council, compensation and whatnot, we'll review that.
Thank you. I'm okay now.
Okay. Roll call vote. Councilor Burns.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwall.
yes,
Councilor Robinson.
yes.
Councilor Ray Schoenfeld.
Yes,
Yes, that's very good. Are there any matters of urgency? Any notices of motion? We've done committee reports, so upcoming meetings and unfinished business. The recreation committee meeting will be June the 12th, 2023 at 6 p.m. Our next regular meeting of council will be June 20th, 2023 at 7 p.m. And then brings us to item number 15, and I have a motion that council. Oh, sorry.
Just, sorry, I was just going to ask about the strategic committee.
It'll be on the next one.
Next,
So after the 20th.
okay. Sorry.
No problem. So I have a motion that council go into closed session pursuant to section 239 2B, D, E of the Municipal Act regarding 9 personal matters about identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, 2 labor relations or employee negotiations, and 1 litigation or potential litigation. Do I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Councilor Burke, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Rakichenko,
Yes.
and yes, it's carried, so we'll be going into close at 7:41 p.m. Andrew Spread as co-signer for municipal bank accounts and as the deputy clerk for Griffith as additional co-signer, and that the Visa card issued to former Public Works Superintendent Ronnie O'Neill be canceled, and further that a Visa card be issued to the Special Project Coordinator Cameron Montgomery. Council Burke. Council Burke,
Yes.
Council Buckwald,
Yes.
Council Robinson,
Yes.
Council Rakichenko,
Yes.
and yes, that is very good. I have a motion regarding human resources that staff proceed as directed in closed session. And I'm going to move in a seconder, moved by Councilor Rakichenko, seconded by Councilor Buckwald.
Yes.
Look at that, he's coughing on the other end.
It's contagious.
Jeepers creepers.
Councilor Burke,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yeah.
Councilor Rakichenko,
Yes.
and yes. That's
I
carried.
told you it's contagious.
Possible around.
Mm-hmm.
Item 16.3 is litigation or potential litigation. I have a motion to staff proceed as directed in closed session. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Rakichenko. Councilor Burke,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwald,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Rakichenko,
Yes.
and yes, that's very good. You want me to wait or you, okay?
Well, we were cruising on this meeting until we closed. We were cruising on this meeting until we got to close.
I know.
Yeah.
11:41.
I know.
It's the most I've actually we've ever had in citizens.
Oh, the black flies? Oh. Bite and itchy.
Been second such.
Do we have anybody coming back to the meeting more?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, no, I saw it.
Sometimes it just goes off and there
You want me to
isn't.
grab them?
Oh, I thought you were still, you know, here.
Oh, well, I can do that too. So 16.4, a motion that the council acknowledges the report and directs staff to proceed as discussed in closed session. And that's in regards to
Thanks for reading through it.
staff relations.
I'll just stop it.
Can I get a mover to second? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Ray Schoenfeld. Councilor Birch,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
Yes,
Councilor Ray Schoenfeld,
Yes,
and a yes, and that's carried. Item 16.5 is a citizen concern form. I have a motion that council acknowledges receipt of a confidential citizen concern form and directs staff to provide a response. Moved by Councilor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Schoenfeld,
yes,
and a yes, that is carried. Thank you. Item 16.6 is a citizen concern form. I have motion council acknowledges receipt of a confidential citizen concern form and directs staff to provide a response. Moved by Councilor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Bird. Councilor Bird,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Schoenfeld,
yes,
and a yes. Carried, thank you. Item 16.7 is human relations. Human resources. I have a motion that staff proceed as directed in closed session. Moved by Councilor Schoenfeld, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Schoenfeld,
yes,
and a yes. Very, thank you. And finally, a confirmatory bylaw, that's bylaw 2023-30 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for June 2023. We had the first and second time this 6th day of June 2023. I'm gonna move in a second, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Robinson. He read a third time and finally passed this 6th day of June 2023. Councilor Burns,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes,
Councilor Robinson,
yes,
Councilor Schoenfeld,
yes.
and a yes, that's carried, thank you. And then number 18 is adjournment. That's this June 16th, 2023 regular meeting, council adjourns at 9:44 p.m.
Swan.
Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Schoenfeld. Councilor Birch,
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
yes.
Councilor Robinson,
yes.
Councilor Schoenfeld.
Yes.
And a yes. Carried, thank you.